Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. That print was very low on my shirt and very hard to focus on. Sorry about that. Hopefully you didn't see anything you didn't want to see. Today we have Wings of Life, right? Yeah, the Wings of Life from Disney Nature. This is a documentary. It's about an hour and 20 minutes long. And yeah, it's from 2011. Okay, 2011? Really? Holy cow, because honestly, this is the kind of thing that there's a lot of macro photography filming, like close-up stuff. Like this is a hummingbird, and you can see the wings moving in slow motion. They do the same thing with bumblebees and bats and other stuff like that from nature. And I think I watched this on my computer in my office while I was working, and honestly, if you have a 4K television, this is the kind of thing. This is another one of these Disney Nature type of things where I think has been upgraded to 4K quality if it wasn't already. If you have a 4K television, seriously, bring this up right now. Even if you don't even want to listen to it, that's another thing I'll talk about in a minute. But even if you don't want to listen to it, this is one crazy screensaver, because it is, you think you've lived your life and you've seen just about anything, and this comes along and it shows you the detail of things that you just never imagined existed. I mean, it's the stuff that you don't normally think about, but this is a story of flowers, believe it or not. Wings of Life is about flowers, and it's told from the flower's point of view. This gives voice. The voice that speaks over this, that narrates this entire thing, comes from the point of view of the flowers. I know that sounds a little weird, a little tree huggy, but it's genuinely fascinating just to see how everything works together, how everything has evolved in such a manner from more than 20 million years ago, 200 million years ago. I don't even know how many millions of years ago. She says it at some point. There was a point where there was no flowers and there was no mammals on this planet. It looked a lot different. It had lizards, it had reptiles, or I should say. It had other types of plant life that pollinated just through wind, just by wind blowing around, like pine trees and things like that. But things have evolved, and it shows how this weird little power struggle, how these flowers have evolved to manipulate and control how they reproduce, control other creatures to do their bidding. Whether it's little tiny bugs, bees, ants, hummingbirds, bats, you have to wonder. And oh, by the way, also us. You have to wonder who's really in control of this planet. We talk about Mother Nature as a metaphor and everything else. It's not a sentient being that we're aware of anyway. Some will call it God, but for many ways, this is nature taking care of itself in ways that we have no control over. We have no say in, except to destroy it, to disrupt it, to devastate the ecosystem enough that the bee population is lowered, or we do things to maintain the bee population. And people have said it before, it's been a subplot of the X-Files way back in the 90s, including their film, but it's the first film. But it's a real thing. Without bees, certain fruits, certain plants would never exist. They would cease to exist. Food, as we know it, some food would not exist anymore. If you want to look at this from an educational standpoint, it's chock full. No matter let's just say you're having another season of kids learning from home. And you're in charge of the curriculum if somehow there isn't a teacher. You plop them down in front of this, it is fascinating. Maybe they might be bored with it. I don't know how old they are, but whatever. It's an amazing to look at. If you like I said, get the biggest 4K television you got, slap this on there, and it'll blow your mind. Hopefully the kids' minds as well. And honestly, the whole thing has a very calming effect. There's a lot of slow motion photography, a lot of high definition, just stuff. You're just millimeters, centimeters away from how real bugs, just flowers also opening in high speed. There's not just slow motion, but obviously you see how the flowers bloom and change, and how they actually are complicated enough to trap orchid bees to get stuck in their gooey little pool, and then they have to climb out a very specific way in which the flower can then attach certain like little modules to its back without it knowing, and then that bee eventually escapes, and then sends that pollen, sends it elsewhere. Same thing, you get to see pregnant flying bats. You get to see hummingbird fights, okay? If that's not worth watching this, hummingbird fights in slow motion, come on. And on top of this, the voiceover, the voice of the flowers in all these different ecosystems, whether it's the jungles or the deserts or the farms of the North American Midwest or just anywhere around the world, the voice is Meryl Streep, okay? Like the iconic actress Meryl Streep, and for the life of me, the whole time I'm watching this, I'm listening to her voice, and I'm like, who is this? I know this voice, and I could not figure it out. At the end, the credits, Meryl Streep. I'm like, of course. But she's got this, I don't know if it's, what is it, ASMR? She's got this very calming, very knowing, sometimes playful tone to her voice. I think if you just put on headphones and you want to just listen to the sound of her voice, along with the beating wings of a hummingbird or a bat, or any number of animals that are used to do the bidding of flowers, the masters of this planet, apparently. I think you'd either be lulled into the most relaxing nap of your life, or you would just be totally drawn into just this world of plants, and be scared to death at just how powerful they are and how important they are to the ecosystem of this planet. It's crazy. So I highly recommend watching this if you get a chance. It's not thrilling, it's not an exciting slam bang kind of thing that you'd get from a Marvel or a Star Wars movie, but it's something that I think everybody should get a glimpse at. If nothing, just not for the visuals or not for Meryl Streep necessarily, or even for the educational parts of it. It's all those things together in one. For me, I just enjoy just seeing the zoomed in worlds that we just do not see, with just the microscopic bugs, and yeah, I mean, some of it I imagine might have been CGI, like, computer graphics, but maybe just to put things in a certain position, a certain way. But so much of it, I can't tell which is which. If they did do it, it looks genuine. And what do I know if, I'm not used to seeing stuff at that resolution, that close up. Come on. So yeah, if you get a chance, I highly recommend this. This is one of those types of documentaries that is perspective changing. Let's just say that's I don't even know if that's a saying at all, but in my mind, it now is. So yeah, I didn't know what to think coming into this, and like I said, it's not super exciting, but hummingbird fights, slow motion pregnant bats with long tongues eating the flowers off a cactus, eating the goo out of a thing on a cactus. They're needed so that you have more cacti. That's how it works. See how the world really works by watching this. All right, let's pick tomorrow and see how the world really works tomorrow. 413. 413. Come on. Oh, okay. Wow, we've had 409, 10, 11, 12, 16, and right in there is 2 classics. But this is one I've not heard of before. 413 is Perry. Look at what we got below that, though. Peter Pan, Pete's Dragon, 1977. Wow. But we're getting Perry, 413. Don't know what that is. Maybe I should. Maybe you think I'm an idiot for not knowing what that is. But Perry with an I. That's what we're watching next tomorrow. It's a movie on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow.